was the winner of that. The green flag comes back out on lap number 18, and we are back to competition.
Well, Dale Jarrett leading, of course, Ricky Rudd right on his back bumper.
Dale Jarrett leading, but Ricky Rudd is giving him a challenge as they go into corner number 9. Let's see how things shake out here. Rudd going to the high side, up near the loose stuff.
But that's not the place to pass on that turn. Now he dips down to the inside as they come off of the turn. That is the place to pass, and he's going to get Jarrett as they come to the start-finish line.
Ricky Rudd goes back into the lead, but Dale Jarrett is staying right up there with him, and some smoke coming. Looks like tire smoke coming from that Rudd car as he really had to bend it to get into that second corner.
He had to make a pretty sharp turn to get in there because of the angle as a result of being on the outside of Jarrett.
So Jarrett back in second. That's Richard Petty running in third position in the STP Pontiac as they come up through the S's once again. Running in fourth position, Sterling Marlin in car number 44. Behind him is Lake Speed, and now Richard Petty challenges for that second position as the cars move through corner number 8. To the inside is Petty, outside is Dale Jarrett, and Richard Petty has picked up second, and some contact it looked like there between Jarrett and Petty.
Yeah, they might have touched just a little bit, got Jarrett out of shape, and he's lost several more positions, and plus the others have on fresh tires. Jarrett has not stopped as yet, but I guess he just wanted the pleasure of leading a Western Cup race for a while, so he stayed out there.
And indeed he did. And by the way, the information we got from NASCAR scoring was that Rick Hendrick did not lead a lap. He thought he did, but was not given credit for his last lap on the racetrack. You can see some great competition there ahead of Jarrett as they're too wide going out of corner number 9. That's Dale Earnhardt and Darrell Waltrip, Bobby Allison, and Lake Speed contesting for position. Look at Earnhardt get the left side off the racetrack and kicking up some dust.
Well, that is some tight racing and some narrow racetrack. Normally, you don't see that much passing, Bob, up through the S's, but they're just driving around there as if there was plenty of room.
Well, you remember last year, Dale Earnhardt with a really neat move going into the dust and picking up position, and he is using the S's in much the same manner here this year.
Well, he loves this kind of racing. As we said earlier, he's never won on a road course, but he likes it. Sort of fits his driving style because you just slammer around the turns and drive it deep in, hit the brakes, and get on the gas. He likes that kind of racing, but so far has not been able to win on a road course. Although
Dale Earnhardt has never won here at Riverside, his car owner Richard Childress owned the car that Ricky Rudd won with in 1983.
Several drivers won their first Winston Cup race here at Riverside, California. Bill Elliott being one. Ricky Rudd, of course, won his first race here when he was driving for Richard Childress. Lake Speed apparently has slowed a little bit going into turn 9. And we look for him to come into the pits.
Meanwhile, we continue to watch Darrell Waltrip and Dale Earnhardt. Behind those two, Terry Labonte. Has been out of the top 5 for 3 consecutive races. The last time that happened was September of '86 when he was 21st at Dover, 12th at Martinsville, and 9th at North Wilkesboro. And you're right, Ned. Lake Speed comes to pit road. And this would certainly be an unscheduled pit stop. They go to work on the right side, so apparently he has cut a tire. So Darrell Bryant, his crew chief, Darrell, a former driver, goes to work on the car as we see Ricky Rudd leading Richard Petty. Richard Petty with 5 wins here at Riverside. Bobby Allison has the most. Darrell Waltrip has also won 5 races. Hey, Petty is not losing too much ground to Ricky Rudd. Petty, as we mentioned earlier, destroyed the car that he brought here to race a 1988 Pontiac Grand Prix in qualifying going into turn 6. So the brakes locked up and he got into that turn too hard, hit the wall very hard, and destroyed the car. So they had this 1987 Pontiac on the truck as a backup car. So that's the one he's racing and doing a good job with it. And Ricky Rudd, the pole sitter of the race, is leading at the moment. And we had a chance to talk to Ricky earlier in the weekend and ask him about driving on road courses.
Really, my whole history, my background, you know, as a kid was road racing in go-karts. Now, even though that doesn't really compare too much, I've been seeing these road courses since I was about 8, 9 years old, 10 years old. And I think maybe some of that comes back to me, some of the stuff that, even though there were go-karts that ran 120 miles an hour, they didn't weigh but 200 pounds. Some of the things you can learn from it, some of them you can't. And the motocross experience that I had on running motorcycles on the dirt, I think applies a lot here. And sort of a freestyle. Everybody's got a different way of doing it. And I really wouldn't say one way is right or wrong, but sometimes one guy can get around a little bit quicker than the next guy.
That's comments from Ricky Rudd. Meanwhile, Davey Allison just a few laps ago with a problem off the course, and now Dad Bobby has slid off the course, kicking up a big cloud of dust, but Bobby will get things going again and pull back out on the racetrack.
I don't believe he hit anything, Bob. I think he just spun around out into the dust. Took him a little while to get going. Here's Darrell Waltrip. Apparently he had gone off of the racetrack as well.
Well, it is a very narrow and tight racetrack up there through the S's, and we've seen several go off already. Darrell Waltrip is the latest as he tries to catch up with the rest of the field, and it's been a tough race already for Darrell Waltrip, who made a pit stop to be checked by the NASCAR officials for possibly dropping some oil. And now look at the damage on the left side of that car. Yeah. He obviously, I guess, made contact with maybe Bobby Allison.
Well, he might have, or either he could have. It looks like the damage is on the underneath part of it, and there's some guard railing up there, and in fact he's hit several things, Bob, because there's some damage all the way around on that race car, just about every corner.
Yeah, we are told in fact that he did come in contact with the guard rail up there, among other things.
Here's Brett Bodine with smoke coming from the Crisco Ford, and Bud Moore, who's still recuperating from a broken leg in Spartanburg, South Carolina, watching his car come into the pits. Bud, we're sorry to show you the Crisco Ford coming in. It looks like the engine has expired on that car. He's headed to the garage area.
So it's out of the race for Brett Bodine, at least at the moment. Meanwhile, on the racetrack, we have some great competition as the number 18 car there of Elliott Forbes Robinson and Bill Elliott are running nose to tail. Elliott, of course, trying to get back on the lead lap after a couple of very long pit stops. And we have another yellow flag being displayed, and this one, we are told, is because of some oil on the racetrack that the track crews will have to come out and soak up.